is when...
You know, the vehicle there was already burnt and everything, and they now brought out the corpses and they're actually trying to machete.
I think it's more of ignorance. The people themselves not even understanding what human rights. And they also raised a very valid point, though, which is the fact that the majority of Nigerians have lost faith in the justice system.
Yes.
As it were. Yes.
You see, a society remains the society,
yeah.
so that the society undertakes to return certain forms of rights to us too in return. Where you discard that social contract as a result of the society, you are the one in active disobedience. You are the one in active offense. I don't know if I'm making sense.
Yes.
Yes, you are.
Yes. We know that the society is to... It does not lie with you within that society to now actively engage in breaching your own that social contract, because there are sanctions available for whatever you do.
But then what are the other ways you can...
that the society has finally
failed? Okay.
Yes, we have situations where criminals are caught. For example, someone like Evans. We saw how long it took the police for enforcement of law. So those whose responsibilities are to enforce that law. And that means that no matter how you interpret it that the society has failed, you must continue to use that instrumentality of your grievance. You must continue to use them. Because once you step out of those tunnels, once you step out of those channels, you are now taking laws into your hands. So you are now committing an offense that you also, with that same society or that law enforcement agency that you say are not doing their job, they now have another responsibility to now hold you to that.
Holistically, this is not the first time that Ikorodu has been in the news for quite for the wrong reasons, really. Ikorodu has been in the news in the world with kidnapping and a whole lot of that. You know, right now it could be seen as a very a hotspot, a flashpoint now for crime in Lagos. What are we supposed to have done before now to actually just check all of this? Because I mean, should we have like a state of emergency or something?
Are locally supported. 70 to 80% of crime, you would always trace some local content, some local aspects to crime, to crimes. So the point is that people in Ikorodu who are living inside of Ikorodu have a lot of work to do, because these residents reside there. So there is no way to exercise their rights. These are their pictures, this is where they live, and police have not done anything along the line. Even if police is slumbering, along the line they will wake up.
They'll do the right thing. Okay. All right. Now I'm happy you brought on the issue of police and some others for unlawful audacity, you know, and all of that. what are really the rights, you know, of such a person like that?
You see, as the state has rights, as you and I, we have rights. So does swim inside of us, and we accept that every criminal has a right, not only legally protected right, constitutionally protected rights. That means that the very ground of the very peak of hours, or 48 hours, if there is no court within the vicinity, and police failing to have done that, Evans is entitled to approach the court to enforce his fundamental rights, to be released or to be charged to court. And ladies and gentlemen, my brother and my sister, are you now saying that there is no case that is clear that Evans has committed, that police can just use that, at least for the time being, to... Evans has disowned the lawyer? That's a different thing. It's a different question. But Evans is entitled to that, to be either released or to be charged to court.
With this case now, there's been a whole lot of, you know, revelations, and each time we see various reports. It's as though there's so much, will I say, openings for the media as regards Evans, because each time we hear something today, the wife has said so, he has revealed more names and all of
And you find out that a lot of cases that are already in the media, a lot of times you find that when they go to court, it's a different ball game altogether. So, but Evans' case is different. Evans' case is clear that he's part of his face
was bloodied.
Yeah. That is enough evidence for the court to disregard all the confessions he made, even the ones he made on camera.
Okay.
Because he could claim it was under duress.
Yes, it will get into trial. That is enough evidence. So perhaps the police is trying to let time pass so that the injury will heal.
Every physical
and so to force that person to confess.
Okay, while I understand, why the arrest of Evans, took everyone, the way it did, especially the police, you could see them actually jumping up for joy and dancing.
Somebody gave the analogy of you're catching a crocodile.
At time. But what I'm getting at is the fact that the police does work hand in hand with legal practitioners like yourself.
Yes.
They understand what the law says.
Absolutely.
I would have expected some sort of professionalism, even though it was worth celebrating the fact that Evans finally was. Is it that the police don't even know what is right or what is not?
It's funny. It's funny. You must the police, if they are watching, they must information that they have or internal processes that they are working on that is not available to the public to speak on. It's their business. On available information to the public, there is no reason why police should in Abuja to get a remand order of 30 days. And I'm wondering what kind of judge gave that kind of remand order. There's no law backing you to give a remand order of 30 days. The law says 14 days, section 293 of the ACJA, Administration. If it has to go beyond 28 days, you have to come to court and prove that there is need for it to be extended. So police has to sit up. There's a very big problem
because
there.
Our time is short.
Yes.
On this same case, what would have been the proper procedure for the police to have followed through in the arrest of Evans?
For now, I can the way I have seen it, you don't need confessional statement of Evans to charge him now. There are people who he kidnapped who can come up to say in general something. Kidnapping is tied to human beings. So you can kidnap as many as 20 people, and those 20 people, it is one case in 20 places. So once they can get one person who they can prove that he has. I thank you so much.
I want to say many thanks to Barrister Ike, a renowned legal practitioner. We've been discussing the spate of crime and criminality.
Generate light for us, power system.
This is Magboro community, where power has become power supply to the affected community, has blamed the protracted darkness on the contractors engaged by the federal government to build its power project. Some of the residents who could not hide their feelings said the blackout had made life unbearable for them. They said despite effort by members of the community development associations to
that we are born in this community don't know what is called electricity. See, so only when it is night, they'll tell you, Daddy, come and on generator. So the children I have, they don't even know what, except it's taught to them in the school. But based on say, NEPA have brought light, my children don't know what is called electricity. So it's really affecting business.
Situation of light is nothing to write home about. It's perennial, total darkness. Monday, 26, there was. It was going on and off. I believe it's work in progress, but where I
things, and it's been affect our business like that.
Didn't see any light at all. To get a transformer, since that time, even during that time, there's nothing. But maybe the light will become. But till now, there's nothing.
For growth and economic prosperity in the area, the government has been urged to rise up to the occasion and attend to the state of welfare of the members of the Magboro community.
Welcome back. Well, Magboro, that is one area of Lagos I will never live in. Definitely. All right, we're discussing sustainable, renewable energy. In my understanding, renewable energy is really safe. But how sustainable really is renewable energy? Joining us on this segment, we have the Managing Director, Electrosites Company Limited, Engineer Olafemi Olaniyan. Good afternoon, sir. Thank you for coming. Also, joining him is back again, Daniel.
Thanks very much.
Thank you for coming. All right. Well, I don't know if my understanding of renewable energy is what it really is, or is there more?
Well, I think you're very spot on in saying this is providing safe, reliable, and affordable energy solutions to end users. And I think it's about, you'd agree with me that for a community like the one we've just seen, a community like that cannot develop in darkness. And it's really, really important that we explore additional opportunities for moving beyond the conventional sort of last mile end users in a very, very, very rapid way. And how quickly we need to do that. We can't wait for the next 20 years. We can't wait for the next 50 years. We know we've had visions 2020, 2030 about bringing electricity access to far.
That economic development actually starts at the grassroots. We are looking for a large organization with the source. The type of energy is matched with the type of user. I think we might need to address these small communities. It's not there. For instance, how many people in their load profile like? It's not existing.
Okay. All right. You know, while we're trying to understand the many benefits, you know, of tapping into, you know, renewable energy, but we need to ask the question.
Valid point. So if you think about solar, for instance, every day we wake up, the sun shines on us brightly. We're privileged to be in a country like Nigeria with extended hours of daytime, and yet we are not taking advantage of these opportunities. If you think about countries in Europe that don't even get up to half of the solar irradiance that we enjoy here in Africa, they are making the most of their renewable energy sources, particularly wind and in some other parts of Europe, nuclear as a base load and supported with wind, solar, and a range of other sort of non-conventional sources. So countries are doing it. The question then is, we have the resources. What's holding us back?
I wonder, because then another question that you know, that could come up from what you've said. I really need to find out what you talked about. We have a bit of a comparative advantage. I know we have loads of water and rainfall. You know, so which other sources do really have comparative advantage?
Well, I think the big one for us, in truth, will be solar. You've also got to think about biogas, by converting sort of waste to energy. On a daily basis. And it's always there. It's a huge challenge even for the Waste Management Agency, whereas that's also an opportunity. But I think for us, solar is the big one. And the question is, how do we sort of unlock the opportunities in such a market within Nigeria?
Yeah, I'm excited. You know, you guys are, you know, part of the Nigeria Energy Forum. And I'm guessing that's a forum where you come together, look at the challenges, and then proffer solutions and all of that, you know, amongst other things. And we all know that the power sector is really, you know, the issue of power. What really are the challenges? What's the problem really? Why we cannot get it right? Why can't we get it right where power is concerned?
Well, I think I would say
Engineer
Lani will be in a better
quiet on that
position.
Came into power, it was as low as just slightly over 2,000, and we're talking to 4,000 megawatts. About the culture of the distribution company. The distribution company is actually supposed to engage, has a tendency to, some children have never experienced the 10-year-old child that has the problem to stakeholders. What you put behind the problem is thinking, critical thinking, and human resources. And with those two things, I believe that things are changing gradually, but it will take some time for us to begin to see the turnaround we expect in the sector.
All right, I'm fine. Let us just talk more now concerning your forum, the Nigeria Energy Forum. I understand that there's a Sustainable Energy for Economic Development holding somewhere in Lagos around Ikeja for between the 4th.
Challenges in the sector. I think the 2017 Nigeria Energy Forum is focusing on inspiring solutions, building technical capacity of local professionals in the sector, and fostering rebuilding trust in the power sector. This is engaging the distribution company and consumers, helping to rebuild trust. You know, a lot of trust has been broken when you get causing huge problems for many of the organizations upstream, the generation companies that cannot be paid because of the inefficiencies in revenue collections downstream, and trying to inspire solutions to address that. The second one will focus on, the second technical session will focusing on electrifying the off-grid sector rapidly. We can't wait for the next 10 years, I'm afraid, to keep people in the dark. And I think it's becoming really, really important, even from a political standpoint, that if you must remain in power, you have to give power to the people.
Exactly.
And it's just so simple, you know, it's that plain, and we can't keep denying that reality. And the third technical session, and how that impacts on the output of generation, sort of gas-fired generation in the country. What ways can we sort of engage with to secure gas supply? 25 expert speakers who will be speaking on those technical sessions. About 80% of those are local experts who are key players in the industry, from generating direct response to the desires of stakeholders from the last edition of the forum, is to introduce hands-on training to build local capacity in the sector. And this year we'll be focusing on 4 main community energy development, like Engineer Laniyo shared. How do you bring this to a community level and inspire sort of commercially viable solutions? The third will be on solar grids design, being commissioned today and failed in the next 2 weeks. And that's inspiring a lot of distrust, you know, in the sector. How do we do that correctly? And the fourth there will be focusing on energy research, work more for collaborative research and development with international players.
Wow, that's a lot. All right, but who can attend?
Well, it's open to, I believe, everyone who has a stake in our energy future. So that's policy makers. A very big thank you, you know, to Galaxy TV for supporting this initiative, because everyone has got a role to play. The other thing we are doing is to sort of encourage or inspire innovation across the continent.
I like
experience for Nigeria, and we think
try to be innovative and try to put
professional institutions like the Nigerian Institution of Electric bankable proposals that can attract the type of funding you need to take it up to scale. Need it, and we must really say, you know, a big thank you to the NIEEE for facilitating an opportunity like this to strengthen growth and development in this sector.
Maybe I should ask you.
And electronics engineers is the umbrella body for practicing professionals in the electrical and electronics sector. We're a division of the Nigerian Society of Engineers. Our main focus is professional development, opening opportunities for our members, advice to government on policy in to organize fora like this. The NEF is actually an international initiative. It's not just a local initiative, it attracts participation from various countries, both locally and internationally. So basically that's our forte.
All right. For the benefits of the viewers, Engineer Laniyo, I want you to just run through this very quickly. The health hazards, you know, of us providing energy the way we are doing currently. What are those health hazards?
Okay, the first thing I would say to us is that our elite always give a pending the restoration of power supply, but we made it. Our elite showed us how to make it the main source of power. The volume of pollutants, carbon monoxide, if we didn't have densely populated area, the volume of toxic fumes definitely has a health hazard implication. It may not show up immediately, but it will definitely show up over time. Then there's the noise factor, noise pollution. But those that, you know,
that are following their footsteps, yeah.
Have generators that can make people deaf over time. There is also the storage of flammable, you know, fuels.
Substances, yeah.
The elite use diesel, which is not flammable. And
because they can afford generators that use petrol instead of diesel.
That is all they can afford, really.
Wow.
And it goes on and on. We need to shift our way of thinking. The people, the followers need to put on a thinking cap.
Right, just one final addition from you, because you've been smiling all since you was talking. I just want to know why you were smiling.
Well, I think Engineer Olani has sort of captured that, you know, in the essence of what it really is that when we think of short-term in the near term or in the future, the health implications of that makes me worse than my neighbor. And I think these are realities that have to then put pressures on our sort of very weak health system, for instance. And we just may never know with
Not at all.
Okay.
Thank you
All right.
so much.
Thank you, gentlemen, for coming on the program today. All right. The Nigeria Energy Forum, Sustainable Energy for Economic Development, is starting tomorrow.
Yes, please.
And it will be ending on Wednesday. It's the 4th to the 5th of July 2017 at the who just want to know more, you know, about the energy sector, or they want to become innovators. This is a huge opportunity, you know, that you cannot. So,
thank you very much.
He's a renewable energy expert as well as a former chairman for the Nigeria edition. Join us there.